Well, hi, and welcome everybody to Art and Culture Podcast. Today, on this lovely night, we will be talking about Middle Ages. First of all, we will be talking about religion in Europe during the Middle Ages. The only recognized religion was the Christianity, and the government is a good thing to talk about, as it was the feudalism that was leading politically and economic life in the Middle Ages. Monarchs like kings and queens were maintained called lords. Something pretty beautiful about Middle Ages is that can be the clothing and styles, code, garnet, chaperon were the most used costumes on that time. It's just amazing. Today on this lovely podcast, we're gonna have a little person it's my cousin, and she's gonna talk to us about a little more about the Middle Ages. She's gonna help me here. She's really good about this.
Aside from the outstanding use of clothing and the revolutionary use of the feudal system, what's really revolutionary about the Middle Ages is just how the kings have so much authority over all of the townspeople and how they could control the peasants, which is how this feudal system worked in general. When we're talking about the feudal system, we have to think about that they're divided into sections, as in classes, like middle class, high class. But instead of called that, they go from king and priest, because priests were highly praised at the time and they were considered some form of authority in that sense that they guided people. Aside from that, it went down from the kings and the priest to the knights who protected the king and just served the land, since the lords also helped out distribute the land for the king, but they did not have higher authority than the king, who was the supreme leader of them. Then after the lords and the guards, we had the peasants, the working class, as we would think as. The peasants did not have many rights at the time. They did suffer quite a horrible life, since at the time, medicine wasn't really common, and they just had to struggle through a lot of disease. Many of them really died through many major events like the Black Plague. The Black Plague really just wiped out a whole bunch of people, and just other diseases that people couldn't handle at the time. So aside from the many diseases and the lack of modernity in both medicine and technology, the working class was really struggling at the time. They barely had anything to provide for their families. They couldn't go up in class. That's how the feudal system worked. You couldn't move up a class. You couldn't become king. You were born into the bloodline. So if you were born a king, your whole bloodline of generations of children would continue to lead on the legacy.
And it's pretty amazing, because, the legacy and all the things about the king and the prince and everything about my cousin talked about, the plague. It's just, super things that it's just, we could never imagine that things could happen in that times. Just full of little things, how can we call them? Little ideas, I don't know, little cut of things that happened in that time. Just super amazing that now in time we can know that, we can learn that on school. It's just simply amazing, and I don't know, it's just kind of cool. And yeah, I like it. Thanks my cousin for helping me here, because I'm not really good at this, but she helped me a little bit. And what I think I liked most about this topic basically was the architecture. I'm really into architecture, yeah, because I really like it since I was a child and everything. I wanted to study architecture, but I couldn't, because it's a hard thing, because you have to have your mind full of knowledge, full of ideas, a lot of imagination. It's just amazing, it's how these people I'm going to talk about, it's how their mind is full of things. It's just wow, yeah, it's amazing. For the architecture, I was gonna talk about the most recognized architects. So in here, I was going to talk about this architects because I chose them because I think they were like pretty good. I saw their architecture works and it was just like good and everything, you know. So first of all, we're gonna start with Billard Honeycourt, then Giotto, then Sugar, and there were many other architects, I might call them, that made these beautiful buildings made out of, you know, stone and full of other things in that times. It's just amazing how, you know, time passed and it's still like the same. They're like conserved on and everything. They have everything. They're like on a good how do you call it? On a good, like on a level. Yeah. I forgot that totally. But sorry. It's like, yeah. But yeah. And then I'm going to talk about the sculptors. The sculptors are also a very, very important part of the, you know, the Middle Ages. Because it was like, sorry. Like, it was so amazing. And for the sculptors, we have Nicholas of Burden. And we have Tilman Dreamage. And we have, wait. I did something wrong. Wait, there's gonna be like a little pause. I forgot to put one, like totally forgot. The Western, yeah, the other word, that ones. As well as they were architects and sculptors, there were also great painters. It's like totally out of this world how we can see like painting so beautiful, like it's so amazing, like it's full of things. So first I'm going to start with the 3 architecture works. It's amazing, you know, like all of the things we have talked, but there's something more interesting that we're going to talk about, and it's that we have 3 works of architecture, 3 works sculptor, and 3 other from painters. So first I'm going to start with the 3 architecture works. I choose Giotto. He created Giotto's bell tower, Scrovegni Chapel, and Florence Cathedral. First, I will start with explaining Giotto's tower. It's a freestanding campanile that is part of a complex of the building that complements the Florence Cathedral. It was built from 1418 to 1436. Next, we have the Scrovegni Chapel. It's a small church adjacent to the Augustina Monastery. And in here, we can see that in this too, we can see that they use different techniques. Like the Gothic and that. Sorry, I was just here, you know, team backing with my cousin. Yeah, you know, that they have like a Gothic and that type of things. It's just they are amazing. As I was saying, oh my god, I got lost. This building was built 625 work days, so they worked like for 625 days, and that's amazing. I couldn't find like when did they started and when did they end it. Certainly, it doesn't say that like super consistent. It's hard, you know, to look for that. It's just not elite. Last and not least, Florence Cathedral is a church, and it's the most important cathedral in Florence. It was completed in 1434. For now we are going to talk about the sculptors. I chose Nicholas. He created the Burdon altar, the relic shrine, and the shrine of the 3 kings. The Burdon altar was the monastery's most precious art possession. It was created in between 1130 and it ended at 2005. I think it's no 1205. I don't know how do you say. Then we have the relic shrine. It's a chapel with 1,200 relics of saints. It lasted a long 15 years to make. And then we have the Shrine of the Three Kings. It's a tomb of three kings that contains bones, and it started in 1225, and then in 1235. And for last and not least, the painters I chose were Giotto, because it's a painter as well as he was an architect. He was a painter, and he made the Lamentation, the Last Judgment, the Madonna and Child. At first, the Lamentation was a fresco paint, and the Cycle of Christ, it started in 1304 and it ended in 1306. The Last Judgment began 25 years to make it, and it's a painting on the ceiling. It's pretty amazing. There's a photo of it that I saw, and I really liked it. It was just like really, really good. And yeah, it was amazing. And for last, the Madonna and Child. This one was another painting of Madonna and his child. This lasted around, like, I don't know, 10 years, I think. I don't know, like, I don't certainly know, but Google says that. That's where, we can like have information about that days, and yeah, it's pretty amazing. And yeah, that will be all for me. Thanks to my cousin that she helped me and everything. And I think you like this podcast. It was like a little bit short, but I made it the most fast I could, because it was just like a little previous thing about Middle Ages. I hope you like it. I hope you learned a little bit of it. And yeah, thanks for your attention. And yeah.